Jonathan Taylor speaking to the media. Doesn't sound great. Sounds very, very similar to last week and the week before, where things are getting better day by day and he's trying to become more functional and all of that. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later, because that running game, especially against an opponent like the Dolphins, who have a tough time stopping the run, this would be a good week for Jonathan Taylor or some running back for the Colts to really get some good numbers. It would be great to see Jonathan Taylor out there, but you listen and see how optimistic you are after listening to him.
I'm getting super excited. Just continuing to push forward. You guys actually caught me. I was in the middle of my work right there, but I knew I had to come and talk to you guys before I finish up. But we've been progressing every single day, just pushing myself, just trying to find a way to get the pain out. Anything you do to get back on the field with your guys you've been working, scratching, and clawing with all off season, all training camp, and all season. So just doing everything in my power to get back on that field.
What are the indications that you're seeing that you are getting better and getting closer?
As we continue to do more exercises, different movements, no pain, less pain, and actually being able to do the movements, I think that's the biggest thing right now.
Is that about where you're at this point, or how would you assess the pain level and all that?
The pain level has definitely gone down. That's really the first thing, because really you can't even do a lot of the movements. If the pain is really too high, and a lot of things you can definitely work through, but there's definitely a point where some things are just like you can't even do it.
How much practice today?
Well, I still got to go do some work in there just to go and see how I'm feeling, to see if we can even attempt to go out there and try to do my job. Try to do my job for my teammates.
When you initially injured your ankle, did you anticipate it being this long, or how do you view your timeline?
Well, once they said high ankles, I know high ankles are usually 4 to 6, but me attacking different rehabs and injuries, I'm like, man, there's no way. So I just got to do everything in my power to keep chopping that down each and every single day.
Did they ever talk to you about possibly going on IR, or was that always out of the question?
I never like to throw that around, because especially being on PUP last year, it's definitely not a place you don't want to be if you don't have to be there. So if you feel as though hey, I feel like with the training staff we can potentially avoid that, and that's always a positive.
How much is it about functionality versus re-injury?
It's functional as far as actually doing the movements.
Yeah, like going out and playing, well, I can't do that, or is it I can do that, but if I do this the wrong way, I could re-injure?
No, it's more so, can you even do it at all?
Okay.
Yeah, so can you even do it at all?
How much has this weighed on you? Because this ankle it's been an issue for you for a long time. Is that frustrating?
No, yeah, it has been. The only good thing about it was, when you don't hear the word surgery, okay, then we know this is fixable. We know that we can come back better, stronger, faster. When you don't hear those words thrown around, then you're like, okay, so you're saying that there's a chance, and there will be, another side to this. So just keeping that end goal in mind, that's what's been fueling me, the fans, my teammates, coaches, that's just what's been fueling me to try and continue to chop this down to get back on the field, because it really sucks. It really sucks when, you can't be out there having fun with your guys. But, I've definitely had fun watching them win this past week, but it would have definitely been more fun being out there with them.
JT, as someone who, again, didn't deal with a lot of injuries over your career, have had a few probably these last 2 years, have you thought about just your mortality in the game more, or did it creep in at all? Or?
No, you understand the guy, injury rate is 100%. There's been a multitude of things, not only myself, but plenty of guys that played through. It just sucks that now you'd had a little stint where it's an actual injury where you couldn't play through it, and you're like, oh my gosh, why, what's going on? Sometimes you may think about, what are you doing in the off season? What are you doing in season? But you got to remember, it's a contact sport. A lot of things you just can't prevent. So you just got to keep that in mind and know that the work that you've been doing has been beneficial to you.
JT, I know you want to get back as close as you can to normal, but when the team is struggling to run the ball, does that play into it at all? Do you feel any added pressure to maybe get out there and add something that's not there right now?
Oh, definitely, for sure. Like I said, when I'm able to do the movements, that's just the biggest thing. If you just can't do it, then you're really hindering your team rather than just going out there and trying to provide something. It's like if you just literally can't even do the movement, you're like, then you're better off just not even being out there, because now you're a liability.
That's Jonathan Taylor, and it sounds a whole lot like 2 weeks ago, like last week, where he's just trying to get better to be functional. And it's a matter, he said, of functionality, being able to use his ankle in the way it needs to be used. Not a matter of worrying about re-injury. It's a matter of being functional. So you take him at his word, and you hope that at some point it kind of comes back to where he can be functional and all of a sudden be a big part of this offense because they need him.